Hey,
Good morning, Kirsty.
morning, it's afternoon.
Long time no see.
I know, yeah, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How are you, Free?
I'm okay, I'm okay, just getting fatter as the weeks go by,
Yeah,
but I'm okay otherwise.
long time no see.
I know, how are things with yourself?
Really good. Really good.
Good, I'll take my dressing gown down just in case you think I'm not actually dressed, because I didn't get dressed for this actually. Actually.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm mostly use Zoom now.
All right, I didn't
Mostly.
realise that you did. Sorry,
Yeah.
it's
No,
my
no,
fault.
it's
I
no.
didn't know.
It's all good. It's all good. I was converted. Wasn't a big fan, and then kind of makes things a bit easier for that side. We were working together a year ago now.
Was it a year?
Yeah, 16th of December you joined. So I
Oh
think
my
somewhere
word.
like that. And then we finished just as the first pandemic started.
Wow, that's crazy, isn't it?
It is. It really is. How have you been?
It's been good. It's been challenging at the same time. Like from when our journey ended, it carried on, and then obviously I'm in a different journey now, which is very, very different to what I ever expected. Well, saying that I didn't know what to expect, so it's all new. It's scary more than anything else. I think it really is, because I don't know what to expect. So it's completely it. I, I can't even describe it. It's just very, very different. But otherwise, I'm okay.
Yeah. It was really good to catch up with you. And then kind of see what you're up to. And it's like, oh, I'm pregnant. It's like, wow. You know? Do you remember when we first spoke that was something
Mm.
that you was, yeah.
Yeah,
It was like, I want to get here and here
yeah.
we are, right?
It was one of the three things, and it's gone.
Yeah.
So it's gone in a nice line.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do is kind of catch up and to reflect. So obviously, it's really good that people do really well and they get great results. And actually, it's like, what happens after the 12 weeks? And when I called you, and I was like, wow, what a good place to be. What a success after success after success. And my aim with my clients is to get them the results and help them achieve longer, bigger, larger results in their lifestyle, like permanently.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really good for us just to kind of go through just a bit of a chat and just reflect on what you've done since we finished. So it's about you, but my aim is that clients watch this in the group, prospects watch it in the group, and they see kind of what can be done, and that if you imagine before we started the program, it was, is you going to have me eating rabbit food, right? Obviously, not the case, right? It's easier for us now in this situation, but what I have reflected on is people sometimes could be thinking, well, great, awesome, for 12 weeks, but the weight will have to go on. But then I'll go back to square one. But everything I've done only works for a few weeks anyway. So that what's it different? So I thought it was good just for us to speak, for you to tell kind of, me, and I'll share the recording of this when I do press record, of what you did following the program. Does that all make sense, by the way?
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. So
that's fine.
Yeah, let's jump in. I've not done this before though. I've got a few questions, but I'm just like, oh, what do I do? And like when you're saying, oh, I hope I'm going to be okay, I'm just like, oh, that's two of us. So I need to kind of jump in with this one. Let's awkward.
You're making me nervous.
I know, it's like it's not even a big thing, right? So let's begin. This is the amazing Kirsty Brooke. We worked together last year, and we finished just before the pandemic. Don't laugh, you'll spoil it. We have to start again. Yeah, we'll roll in. Obviously, it's been a crazy year. I have got some questions that people wanted specifically answering because you finished almost a year ago now. So first of all, just before we begin, what was your motivation behind working with me in my program all the way back in last December?
Last December, I wasn't where I wanted to be. I wasn't happy with my body. I wasn't happy with quite a few things, and I just wasn't aware of certain mental issues that were possibly creeping up, which were also stopping me, being myself, really. I think life just takes yourself away. And when I saw you in the gym and you said, oh, I do, life coaching, I thought, I'll give it a go. So obviously I tested the water first by having my first gym session with you. It almost died afterwards. And then I thought, you know what, I'll do this. I had a catch up with you. You went through everything and said you'd be able to help. And, it wasn't like an interview or anything. It was very easy. It was very at my own pace. And you put me at ease and said you can get the results that I want without having to be in a diet for 12 weeks or having to starve myself or not have, to do what I want to do or eat what I want to eat. Because I've never been on a diet myself, but I've never eaten right, really, as an adult. I've just ate what I've thought was right to eat. And you just carry on following that trend, really. So you really opened my eyes up with that to begin with. But overall, it was the fact of I saw the results that some of your other members had got, and I thought I want the same. And lo and behold, I got that and more.
And what would you say was the main things that you kind of got out of working in the program?
The main things I got out of was my own mental health, was to take care of that, because that is the main focus on, and it does often get left unsaid. And I thought when that was getting underway and that was getting sorted and achieved, the rest of it kind of came naturally. The one thing that I found the hardest during the program was the fact of that it was a change, but it wasn't a change all at once. It was gradual. And it was the fact of you can still eat what you want to eat and you can still do what you want to do, but at the same time you were still achieving the results that you wanted to achieve, which was unheard of, because you see obviously different types of diets all over the place. You see people who take slimming pills or exercise pills to get what they want to achieve, and then as soon as they stop, it just goes to fat, or it just goes to cellulite. And I didn't get any of that. All I got was, it was all natural, it was at my own pace, and with the guidance from yourself, which were the main things that helped me. I thought if I did a program like this without somebody to help, without somebody to guide me through, I don't think it would have been half as successful.
And why would you say that?
Because throughout the program there was things that I wasn't too sure of if I was doing it right, and you always said throughout it, there's no right or wrong answer, it's what you think is right. It's what you believe. And if you're just doing something like that on a piece of paper and sending it off to get marked, or just doing it for your own sense of achievement, it's not the same, because you don't know whether or not, you can't, whether or not it is right. You don't know whether or not it is something that's helping, or what you went through that, and dissected that, and that's what really, really helped. It's all well and good writing things down, but when you can talk about it openly and say, right, well, this is a good thing, or why don't you think about it differently, that's where it sticks, that's where it helps.
And I guess in some ways it's almost a little bit, not easier, but it's a bit more clearer when you've come out the other side of a transformation and you've got the results. But just tell me, like, what was the weight loss that you achieved, the nutrition? What would you say was the specific outcomes, as well as, just increasing in that awareness, that acceptance, and the motivation and mindset? What was the physical outcomes?
The physical, well, I surpassed what I wanted to lose. So I originally wanted to lose, I think it was 9 pounds. I think I lost over a stone. And then after your actual program, I continued using the same methods. I continued to exercise, and then got to my overall goal, which was 8.5 stone, which was just fantastic. I was toned. Obviously, I'm not as toned now because I'm pregnant, but I was toned. My eating habits were fantastic. They're not only with me going through it. Rick, my husband, he also experienced the same advantages that I did, which was great, because even though he wasn't doing it, he was also getting the results, which is great. So if you are thinking about doing it and you do have a lazy partner or a lazy boyfriend, they will, also lose the weight, which might, of course, make them feel better. It was, throughout all of it, it was a really, really good experience. It wasn't something that I felt forced. It wasn't something that I thought, am I going to get there? Because I knew I would. At no point did I think throughout the program that I did that I wouldn't achieve my goals. My 3 goals as part of that were obviously to tone up, to eat healthily, and obviously start a family. And all those 3 things have gone in that exact order, which is fantastic. And it's not something that I've forgotten. It's not something from doing the program I thought, right, I'm just going to go back to normal, because it's very difficult to go back to that after you've spent so much time training your thoughts on to be this path instead of another one. I'm not going to say that I eat healthily all the time. I'm not going to say that I exercise every day, and I'm not going to say, I've piled a load of weight on since doing this, because I've not. I've kept the weight off, from throughout. When I found out I was pregnant, my weight just got better and better, and I didn't change anything. I just followed the simple steps that you gave me, and that was the main thing that has maintained it. I've not got you talking to me saying you need to do it. I've not got you messaging me saying you need to do it, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's simple. It's stuck in there. So whoever wants to join the program with yourself, it's not just 12 weeks and then it's done. Those 12 weeks with yourself have put those pillars of success in there. Those are there. They won't just crumble down, because if I think, oh, I'm eating too much crap, I just go back to my thoughts of how I felt when I was at my largest and how I felt, and I think, no, I'll eat something else. It's slightly different now because of my circumstances. Right, I'm just eating absolutely everything I want. But at the same time, there is that in my mindset afterwards. I will be going back to exactly how I began your journey to get that weight back off.
And how does that feel now that obviously we spoke, and one of the key aims was you wanted to lose the weight so you can look and feel your best.
Yeah.
And then you knew that after you had a child, you could then obviously get back to that place.
Yeah.
How does that feel, knowing that although at the moment, the weight is going up, and rightly so, that once you've had a child, because of what we've done last year, that you know exactly what to do, how to do it, and you've also got the confidence that, how does that feel?
Part of me feels a bit nervous because I'm going to have a child. My life is going to be completely different. My whole life won't just be surrounded by myself, it will be another person. So that's part of it. But the other part of it is the fact that I've got those standing blocks already there. So it's not something that's going to be really, really difficult. If I hadn't have done the program with yourself and and was then trying for a baby, I'd be much, much more anxious and nervous because I'd be losing possibly double, if not triple, the amount of weight that I wanted to lose. So from doing the program when I did, and now being in the place where I am now, I know that it's going to be much easier by just going back to the basics. I've got everything that I had with yourself, and I know for a fact if I turn around to you and said, Mike, will you please give me some guidance, you're not going to be like, no. I know for a fact that you'll be there to help guide me through where I'm maybe possibly lost my way a little bit. But once you have got all of those stepping blocks, it's not something where you'll just forget them. You know, you get baby brain, but it's not something that I'm going to be like, oh, I've forgotten everything that Mike said, because that's not the case. And that's what I would really like to drill into anybody who wants to join it, is that it's not just 12 weeks and then you forget it. It's not just 12 weeks and then you're going to pile all that weight on. If you are truly wanting to get to that goal, you will get it and you will stay there. It's not a diet, it's mind changing, it's around your lifestyle. It's not something which is a quick fix. If you want a quick fix for a wedding, if you want a quick fix for just the sake of losing a few pounds over Christmas, then go ahead, go to Weight Watchers. If you want something to stand and continually stand throughout your life, definitely do the program without a shadow of a doubt. And he even said to Rick, I said, even if I was to balloon and be like 20 stone by the time I'd be going back to Mike for helping that guidance. And I don't think I will. I think I'll be able to, keep at a steady weight and keep those things. So I've kept everything. Everything was on my iPad. I can always refer back to them.
So we finished just as we entered lockdown number 1. Just before our calls, we was doing the claps and kind of that was going on, and there was one yesterday as well. Just tell me a little bit about kind of what that was like to come out at the end of the program. But then obviously you've had the quarantine, the lockdown, the virus. It picked up. It was the end of March when we finished the program. So it was a stressful period. It did affect people in a lot of ways, and we wasn't necessarily in touch at that point. How did, you could be forgiven if someone thought that would be not an excuse, but a lot of people would have put weight on. A lot of people would have lost motivation. You finished a program where you was motivated. You could be forgiven again for people to think, well, why wouldn't you go back to? Just tell me a little bit about what actually happened after we finished at that time with what went on.
Well, it was the opposite. So I've always been a gym goer. I've never done any exercise outside. I've never done any exercise at home, and I was the complete opposite. As soon as those gyms closed, I was like, right, what on earth can I do? And one of the things that you said, well, go onto YouTube. There's loads of home activities on there, and one in particular was Pamela Reif. So I literally thought, right, I'll try this. So started doing some home workouts. Started off quite easy with 30 minutes, and then obviously we had the glorious weather. So I started going out for a walk on my lunch. So, everybody gets a lunch. I only get 30 minutes. So, it's to fit something in that time frame. And then obviously afterwards. So I started going for a walk, and then I thought, well, I've got a big field over there. It's sunny. And I started running. So I've never run outside. If it's cold outside, if it's raining outside, if it's windy outside, you will not see me outside. And that's me being honest. You will not see me outside, regardless of what people say. It's amazing. It's this running up. You will not see me outside. It's just not going to happen. And throughout the first lockdown period, I can honestly say my body changed the most. It changed completely, and so did my husband's. It completely changed for the better. It like my friends, when they saw me out of lockdown the first time, were like, oh my god, what have you been doing? And the first thing they said was, "Look at your butt." That was, that was the first thing that they said. And that was simply because of doing home workouts. And if anything, it actually switched to have me more motivated. I'd spend half an hour, 40 minutes in the gym, but I was doing home workouts for an hour and a half because I was doing a run outside, and then I was coming back, and then after work I'd do another workout because they're in bite-sized chunks. They're not like a big hour long, the 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes. So you can fit them in. You might feel a bit of an idiot jumping around in your living room, but if you are feeling like that, close your curtains.
Yeah.
You don't need it. I use no equipment. The only thing that I bought was a mat. That was the only thing that I bought. I didn't buy any further equipment. I didn't buy any weights. I didn't use anything. So if you're thinking you can't do it at home, you can. If you wanted to buy those weights, yeah, you can use them. There is weighted assisted programs, but I didn't want to buy anything because I paid for a membership. Yeah. It was just to stand by whilst the gyms were closed. And it did, it toned areas of my body that I didn't even think about, really, because I am just cardio. I don't do, I do very little weight lifting. So it was very, very different, and I enjoyed it. It was in lockdown, I got in the best shape of my life from starting this program, and that's the honest truth.
I don't exactly know what to say there, but going into that situation where obviously there's things going on, and like for anyone who's watching, it's like, what can I do? How can I do it? And the steps that I need to take towards my goal. Like that's a mindset shift, right? That's a fundamental, an implementation kind of action taking mindset, because you've got Google, you've got YouTube, you've got lots of apps out there. The information is freely available. But from what you're saying, especially when you speak to your friends around you, it's being able and willing to take those steps, those actionable steps, which fundamentally, when someone perhaps isn't in that place, and it is simply a mindset behavior change problem, right? And it's looking at that's going to get you, regardless of what's going on, the result. Because one way or the other way, from the sound of it, especially from coaching you, like you was always going to get where you wanted to be once we worked on a few bits and pieces that we needed to.
Yeah,
awesome. It's really good to catch up. I know you've if you haven't already, but you are going to put all the weight on, but in a good way. All right, in a good way. So
you can't tell anywhere at the minute. It has all gone down there.
Okay.
I can honestly say that it's all gone down there. Thankfully, my arms aren't like bingo wings, as you can see. Nice. So I'm a little bit here looking at the screen, but that's about it. But I am hopeful as soon as it just goes.
Nice. The weight going on was a question that kind of a couple of people have asked. Like I asked people in my email list in the groups, do you have any questions from a former client? And one of them was, how did you put the weight on? Hopefully that's answered that one. And I mean, I'll go through them again, although you've kind of talked to a few of them questions. Catherine asks, how did you manage to stay motivated to exercise following the program? I know we've touched on that already, but yeah, what would you say to that specific question?
I'd got so far, and it was like kind of like a drug almost. You get to your goal, and then you're thinking, oh well, if I was to carry on, I'd get to this, and then I'd get to this, and then you're like, well, I'm quite happy now. And then once you're at that stage of where you're happy and comfortable, then you didn't have to have the motivation. It was just like a routine. It was second nature to do that, and it was very easy to carry on doing it.
I was just thinking then, it's almost like that sets you up those 12 weeks and then can accelerate. Yeah. Nice. Tamas asks, did you stick to the exercise? I mean, there's a lot of people questioning after the 12 weeks, and you've kind of talked to that question anyway, so I'll not circle around on that too much. But one of them, he says, did you go on to achieve any bigger goals? Again, you've answered that. This is an interesting one. why didn't you stay on, or did you just quit? And actually, I remember we had a conversation about next steps. So yeah, just catch you up to speed. What happened towards the end? I know that was, you was, at that point it was, what should we do? What's the next step? What's the goal? Obviously, you've done really well. Just for those that are watching, how did
Yeah.
that work out for you?
Well, I think I had the basis of what you gave me, and it was a difficult decision because I would have carried on with yourself, but at the same time, I thought now is a good time to try it on my own. And I always knew if I was either going to struggle or if I thought, no, you know what, I could really do some more work on this, then I will do. I'll get in contact with you. I'll start again. But at the time, I just thought, you know what, I've got my basic skills. I want to try it on my own, and that was what made me do it. But I'll stand by it, and I'll say it again. The greatest thing that you gave me was the meditation. It is the greatest thing, and we're a year on, and I still meditate.
Wow.
I don't meditate as on a daily basis as I was, but if I get my fuzzy head, or if I'm thinking I'm getting really angry because I'm not necessarily an angry person, I'm not really a negative person, and I think, you know what, if I just take my time out, I'll be able to. And having those skills that you've given me made me think, yeah, I am right. If I didn't feel that way towards the end of the 12 weeks, 110%, I would have carried on with the program. But I got in a better place than I actually imagined, and that is the only reason. Making me giggle and feel nervous.
I don't know what to say, right? I mean, it's kind of like there's lots of things out there that people can do to get in the best shape, to work on the mindset, to get the result. And obviously, my aim is like to give you to facilitate your own development so that you then don't need to, anyone else to guide you. So when I'm hearing this, I'm just like, oh, this is awesome, because this is exactly what my only goal was to help you reach yours, right? So it's amazing just to have this conversation. This is another one from one of my friends and clients, actually, Di. Di asks, how do you respond and react to positive feedback from people following the program?
At first, I really struggled with positive feedback, and I remember in our conversation, I really struggled with positive feedback because I don't know how to give it back.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, no, I can't. I used to clam up. I used to go bright red. I used to feel, what do I say? And having finished our chats and thinking about that, I find it quite easy to take on compliments. Don't get me wrong, a good compliment always puts a smile on your face regardless. But I'm much easier and feel like to say, yeah, I did deserve that, instead of thinking, oh no, I didn't quite deserve that, or why are they saying that. It's much more positive for me thinking, yeah, I did deserve that. It makes you feel like it's more deserved, I suppose, since the program, because you do get them, but you also think, oh, well, did I deserve it? And now I'm just like, yeah, too right, I'm amazing. not as cocky.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I guess you can say that that's self-worth, right?
Yeah.
You've achieved your goals, you've driven, you've committed, you've succeeded. So, you get that feedback loop. You feel better, you feel more worthy. Like, yeah, I totally get that. That's a great insight. Shal asks, how do you feel this year compared to last year before the program with everything that's going on? Great question.
Amazing. As I touched upon when we was talking how I am, I think if I hadn't got to where I was in the program, or hadn't done the program, I would have been in a much worse place if everything was to pan out as it has now. And I feel from doing that, I feel really, really good in myself. I feel really healthy in myself, and I feel that I can achieve anything that I want to. And I know if I needed that advice or help, I always have yourself. And that's a great thing to have. You make your own assumptions when you do the program. It makes you feel good when you do the program, and you could be thinking, oh, you're on the touches of doing it or not, but I can assure you it will be one of the best things that you'll do, because it does uplift you. You know, it's taking your mind out of that negative focus and creating positivity, which just makes you feel happier anyway.
In this day and age, there's lots of, we have a stressful life, regardless of the coronavirus. There's lots going on, and we have to commit ourselves to work, our family, our relationships. There is genuine commitments, responsibilities that mean you have to fulfill them. With that in mind, when you want to succeed in business, in life, in career, and your relationships, do you think that someone doing something like this, it's essential if they're going to be able to get the result and stay there, just because we're always going to have these commitments, we're always going to have these, so kind of give me your thoughts on, as a busy professional, as someone who's looking to progress in life and career, like, give me some thoughts on how this was potentially, looking back, a necessary insert into that entire success that we've kind of looked at.
I think doing the program, it's helped overall. It's not just helped with my main goal, which was to lose weight. Mm-hmm. It's helped with everything, with every step that I've gone on and taken. I think if your mind is in the right place, as you tend to, as I found that I did have some issues that I didn't realise that were happening, and you get to see that it's working. You get to see, it's like a domino effect. As soon as you start digging a bit deeper and going through the program, you start to see, wow, this really is benefiting this, and I'm feeling better in this, and people are noticing that this is happening, and you just tend to see like everybody tends to see you in a different way, and it's not necessarily like a click of the fingers. It's not something that you just turn on. It just happens on its own. And I think to get that way, especially if you are in between, or you're just not 100% sure, if you've never done something like this, it does help.
Awesome. Good to catch up with you. I actually have no questions specifically on that one. If I had any, you've already kind of been through that. So yeah, just to kind of round up, this is the amazing Kirsty Brooke. She's not only lost the weight, but also kept it off, and more importantly, she's kind of achieved all of the goals that you set and more. So yeah, was there anything else that you kind of had in mind that you wanted to go through? I know we're both catching up and reflecting, but yeah. I wanted this to be, I want people to see what is possible with my help, but I want people to see what my clients do after the program, because my only aim is to help you achieve your goals. Was there anything else that you kind of wanted to go through while we was here?
No, I think that's everything. I think if anybody who's in your group on Facebook, whoever follows you, whoever is thinking, wow, I'm getting really great support from the emails, then I do encourage you to do the program with yourself, because it changes you for the better, not just for a time hop in your life. It really has. It's benefited me throughout. It's benefited me, and it will continue to do so. And hopefully, it rubs off on my husband. It's something that I would definitely recommend anybody to do. And if I do struggle, I know it's not the case of you saying, well, no, you're not in my program anymore. I know that you'll take the time out to, help me with whatever it is that I might be needing that support on. And that's a really good thing that you get, because you don't get that with other things. You don't get that with other diet plans or other coaching things. It's once it's ended, it's ended. And that's not the case with yourself. I know that you would be there if I did have any questions, and that's a very good comforter, because I know for a fact if I do get overwhelmed with anything, you're there to help.
All right, we can stop there. This was the first time I've done this, so I've just we can stop the interview there. Interview, chat, catch up, whatever. Yeah, how was that?
It was weird. I felt like I was in an interview and I hadn't prepared anything.
Me neither.
That's what it felt like. So if you do this again, give them some feedback to what you're going to be asking. I was like, I don't know.
You did say that last time when we did it, and to be honest, I like taking imperfect action, just moving forwards with things, seeing, we want an honest representation. It's probably better it comes
And I'll
from.
give you that.
Yeah, definitely. But it's probably better if it's like, just done. Good enough is good enough. A bit like with clients, like, oh, I'm not working out. Go run around the park. Really? That simple. Go drink some water.
Yeah.
And then a week later, go and do, like, I like chipping away. So I had some questions. I didn't stick to them. I asked some of the ones that my clients wanted to. But, I mean, it's not that I struggle, but to be honest, in many ways for me and you, it is a lot easier when you've got this self-awareness, understanding, when you can manage oneself, when you get it. Looking back before we did the program, I mean, that's a different person. So
Yeah.
when people ask questions like, "Oh, what happens after the program?" I'm just like thinking, I need to get, I want to get Kirsty on. I want to chat, because a lot of the time, if they're asking that question, they don't understand what the program is. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, if they think the way it's going on, not how lost must they be, but where must they be to feel that their only answer is this circle of not getting where they want to be, of not actually ever be in a situation where they can move on from this problem of not being happy with their health and weight. That's no way to be. So yeah, if I ever was struggling for motivation, I'll just watch this. I'll just watch this catch up. Right, it's awesome. Really well done.
Thank you.
Really
Even
well
though if you had asked me this when I was like super trim, I'd have literally just been in my bikini and I'd have been like, look, this is this is what I've achieved.
Yeah.
Because Rick, what was that my body like when we was doing all this training? Like just before I got pregnant, what we were like? We were like two, not what's the word, like just machines. It was like it was just, we were like machines. If anything, the pandemic made me and Rick more motivated to do anything.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's something that people use. I don't buy into it, and I know you don't. If anything, it just shows you that kind of the society that we live in doesn't really want. It's not about us, but we need to make it about us, because it just shows you that the things that we can't have, they wasn't really serving us anyway. Emma's gonna work from home forever. You can't go and buy clothes. We've all got clothes. There's loads of things that you can't do. But actually, what do we need? In many ways, the pandemic's actually helped us realise what is important: connection, happiness, the basics. And actually, like, I don't mind saying it, the pandemic's been amazing for us to get out of these, this kind of mindset that we have to buy into these systems, right?
Yeah.
I mean, who's done lots of people? Oh, what about big businesses and economics? Well, what about people? So yeah, it's really good that you kind of smashed it, right?
Yeah, definitely. We definitely did, without a shadow of a doubt.
Nice. And how's Rick?
He's good. Rick, do you want to say hi? My earphones are in, so he'll wave at you.
Hi, buddy. You okay?
How's it going? You all right?
Good, man. Good to see you.
You have a good Christmas?
Yeah, it was all right. I had a week off. I don't know if you can hear me. Yeah, I had a week off. Difficult to switch off sometimes. Business owner and coach, you want your clients to do well, but I give myself that week off. Not necessarily easy, but certainly essential. It was good to kind of slow down. I didn't stop. I just slowed down. How was yours?
Yeah, good. I mean, a weird Christmas, I think, but I mean, it takes some getting used to all of this stuff. But it's been a year now, so if you're not used to it by now, there's something wrong with you, almost, isn't there? That's the thing. It's just crazy. I can't get my head around it, but keeps on going. Just can't wait to get back to the gym, get the baby out.
Yeah.
Get back to the gym.
Yeah, definitely. Hey.
I said I might go on my own, but she won't let me.
No. Well, you'll find a way.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll find a way, 100%.
I've got the stuff here to be able to do it, but it takes some getting back used to it now. But yeah, it's nice to speak to you.
And you, man, and you.
Yeah, fun.
Take care, Rick. Okay, there we go. We can wrap up now. You can chill out. Well, thank you for doing this as well. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
All right.
Honestly, no problem. I will be coming to you when I get ridiculously fat and I'm like, Mike, I've not done any. Well, I've actually not done any exercise since I fell pregnant. So that might be. Please give me some motivation.
Yeah, just give me a shout. We can always have a chat and put some structure in place for you. And to be honest, because I've coached you, it will be dead easy for us to just see what's really going on here, get to some depth, what's the main thing we need to change. And then as with coaching, once we do gain awareness on what it is, it's dead easy. Just to give you some insight, Emma was reading, there's a book called A 6-Minute Diary. I'm going to quickly send it you. An example, it's a morning and evening gratitude, positive reflection, mindfulness thing. I'll just send it you because it's something that my clients that are in my program now, I am recommending because I've got amazing outcomes from the repetition and consistency of just getting up in the morning, writing what I'm thankful for. Some of the things that we did, but in a more structured format. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because I'll just send you a screenshot. And as you can see, when I send you the screenshot, I bought it 3 times because I've actually given it to people when as Christmas presents as well. So the reason why I'm kind of discussing that is Emma was talking to me. She was procrastinating, overdoing it. There's a bit of reading at the beginning, and I said to her, Emma, what needs to change for you to get this done? And she went, I just need to open it. I said, right, brilliant. Me and you, I'm going to read some book that I'm learning about coaching self-esteem. You can start that book. And then how about you read 2 pages? Now, once she started 2 pages, she went on to read the rest of the book within the next week. So why is that important?
Just seeing it,
Because if you're stuck, you're having a challenge, you want to have a chat, we can probably figure out what needs to change, and then you'll be back. You'll be back. So yeah, I'm always here if you need me.
Awesome. Thank you, lovely. Well, enjoy your evening, and if you need anything else, you know where I am.
Thank you. Take care.
Awesome. Speak to you soon, darling.
Bye.
Bye.